Okay, back at home. Looking forward to being back at Lucas Oil Stadium in front of our fans. Obviously, a good opponent coming in the Commanders. It's going to be great to be at home. Obviously, this is a special week for Colts Nation in that Tarek Glenn goes into the Ring of Honor. So, right, a special player in Colts history. I've crossed paths with him just for a short time, just a class act, great player. Obviously, there will be a lot of other former great Colt players here in town for the game, so that'll be special. I'll open it up from there.
Frank, when do you remember about the first time you made a start?
Monday Night Football against the Rams. So it was a home game. So I remember going in just saying, play the game. You know, you don't have to be the hero. You don't have to be the hero. Just go in and play your game. If this is a team, we win as a team, we lose as a team. So just go in and do your job.
When healthy, is Matt QB2 when healthy?
It's like I said the other day. You know, we'll see how long it takes him to get healthy, and then at that point we'll make a decision.
Frank, I don't think we asked this on Monday. Why, I guess, Sam over Nick?
You know, we had put Sam up as number 2. That's what we think is best for the team.
Does the O-line situation play into that at all?
Yeah, I mean, we just think that Sam was the best choice for number 2.
What was your message to your team when you told them? I don't know if you told them in a team meeting setting or what have you, but how did you portray it to your team?
So what I did was, you know, since today is the first day I met with the team, I met with the leadership council before I spoke with you guys on Monday. So that's 12 guys. You know, we all went in there. Matt was in there with us, and you know, just out of respect to those guys as leaders of the team, knowing that it was going to get announced, didn't want them to hear it in a press conference or in a tweet. So there was no way I could get together with the whole team and tell them, so I told the leadership council.
Frank, do you see any common threads between what's going on now and what you went through a couple of years ago in Philly where you had to get Nick Foles ready to go for the postseason?
It's always a challenge, right? When you make a transition at quarterback, you know, and there's different styles, and what a little bit the same, Bob, from that standpoint when you go to one style of quarterback to another, which is what we did in Philly in 2017, and you want to put the players in the best position as you can. So, you know, you go back and in that case, we went back and looked at Nick's old film. Hey, you know who he is, and you adjust the game plan accordingly. Obviously, we're going to do the same thing with Sam.
But Frank, I think one question that's kind of obvious is that you're not doing this when you're 2-5.
Right.
You're 3-3-1, which you emphatically said after the game and emphasized.
Absolutely.
And so I think is there any disconnect, do you think, between where you are as a team, your record, and then a move this dramatic and drastic, which indicates otherwise?
Yeah. Fair question. Fair question. And like I said, we're always going to do what we think is the best interest of the team. Felt like for the reasons, we just felt like offensively we were struggling. We said, why are we struggling? What are the problems? The problems are we're turning the ball over too much. It's not on one person. We've already, I'm not going to keep hashing through that's not on Matt, but he is the quarterback. So getting sacked too much, turning it over too much, and not scoring enough points. And that's on all of us. But, so the decisions that are made are made around that venue, that thinking.
You would fight back to the premise that you guys are waving the white flag. Like you said, 3-3-1, which is a better spot than you were at this point last year. But also, you're turning to a guy that has never thrown a pass in this league and admitted during training camp that I'm in a good spot learning from these guys. Yeah. I mean, that was a long time ago to see where he's going to be Sunday.
Yeah, it is a long time. But anybody who knows Sam knows that he's made for moments like this, right? I mean, that doesn't mean, is he going to go in and, be the offensive player of the week? I'm not saying that. Will he have growing pains? Absolutely, he'll have growing pains. But I can tell you this for sure. There's nobody waving the white flag. That is not in the DNA. It's not in my DNA. It's not in our players' DNA. I would never do that in a million years. I just couldn't do that. I mean, this is about winning. We're trying to win a championship. And that starts with winning an AFC South championship. We're still in position to do that. As you said, Zach, we're in better position than we were in some previous years. But we have a long way to go. We haven't proven as an offense that we should be seriously considered for that. We haven't, not as an offense. But, that we have an opportunity to turn that around, and that's what we're going to try to do.
Frank, sometimes when a team gets in this position, it says, let's get back to being who we are, run the ball with Jonathan. Is it unsettling that maybe you don't know if you can get back to being who you are to help Sam?
I believe we are on track to being who we are, a balanced, dynamic offense. We need to be dynamic in both run and pass. We had some flashes this last week, made some progress. I think that we're going to continue. I think the offensive line has played solid the last couple of weeks. We're not where we need to be, but I think we're headed in the right direction. I think there's starting to be a little chemistry form amongst the offensive line. I think, we'll continue to go down that path. We have to, we've been efficient in the pass game. But we haven't been explosive. So we have to improve there and then get the run game going. But this isn't, hey, Sam's our quarterback, let's be a run-first offense. We want to be balanced. We want to be a balanced offense.
Whenever you make a decision like this, there's obviously a lot of emotions involved. There are a lot of players excited to get Matt Ryan. Grew up watching him. Talked about him quizzing them in the hallways and everything he did in the fourth quarter to lead them back. So how do you sell this to the team that this is the right move? How do you get them to buy in that this is the thing to do?
This is about, we talk about our three T's, right? Trust, toughness, and team, right? This is a trust factor, right? That, hey, we call a play, I call a play. I trust the players to go do their job. At the end of the day, I think the players look to myself, Chris, and Mr. Irsay, trust us to do our job. And that's our job. They don't make those decisions. Those are the decisions that we make, and they're always made for the best interest of the team. And they're hard decisions. It's not easy. And like I said the other day, with the respect that we have for Matt, and the shoulder issue, talking to him today, I don't know. He probably would have found a way to play, but it's not insignificant.
Frank, to Nate's question, did you have any guys express concern over, hey, we are 3-1, we are turning to a guy who hasn't thrown the pass in the NFL? Like, why? Like, kind of press you on that?
Well, I'll answer the question, but the answer is no, but even if someone did, I would never say that in here. That would be inappropriate to say in here. Those are the kind of conversation, that wouldn't be very smart of me to say in here. If I had that kind of a conversation with the player one-on-one, but no, I didn't. I'll tell you right now, there were none of those conversations.
Frank, I understand that there's no excuses. You have to win. That's your job. But 6 quarterbacks in 5 years, it's an endless cycle, and it's got to take its toll. Do you feel like you guys are paying the price for this continual cycle that's just gotten you nowhere?
I think it has gotten us somewhere. I understand on the outside it may look like it's not. Our team has continued, we've developed a roster that we're continuing to develop a roster that we think is a championship roster. And so that's part of a double-edged sword, because every year we think we're close. Do you want to take a step back? Maybe at some point you have to do that. But that's the hard part, And so as Chris and I and Mr. Irsay sit down and talk about those things, those are the decisions that you have to make, every offseason. But I don't think we've been spinning our wheels. I think every year we're learning and we're getting better. I understand the record goes up and down. Like I said, we've won a lot of games here in 4 years. We've won a lot. We've won more than we've lost in 4 years. And in some ways, I think we've exceeded expectations with all that we've gone through. When you consider the number of quarterbacks and you say, in 18, how did we do? In 19, with the quarterback change, how did we do? In 20, how did we do? Did we, where did we fall as far as expectations? In 21, and I think if you look at it year by year, I think you could argue that in some ways, not always, we've exceeded expectations given the fact that we've had that many quarterbacks and still been able to be in the hunt and find ways to get better. But when Chris and I and Mr. Irsay talk, we're about winning championships. So, yeah, and that's what we're trying to do.
Frank, Sam, a lot was made in the preseason about the arm and Tom House and all that stuff. He called it kind of a 2-year process. Where do you think he is? And I guess, what does that balance in, like, drilling that. I'm sure a ton goes into it Monday through Saturday, and then all of a sudden now he's in a game setting, and you don't want him reverting back to maybe old ways.
Yeah, I think he's pretty into his routine. I said in training camp, you know, that where I've noticed the most improvement, yes, his arm strength, his arm was fine. It's gotten a little bit, incrementally stronger. And, you know, like I said, I look at there's quarterbacks who are all in this, they all have good arms. And then there's some Mahomes then everybody else is kind of in a pile. So Sam's in that pile. And his arm strength has gotten incrementally better. But what most impressed me was his accuracy. He made a few changes mechanically, and I think it's showing up in accuracy. And I've seen that consistently throughout the offseason, throughout training camp, and even in practice.
Frank, I know for Sam, it's a huge change, but also it's his dream. Everyone's dream is to play NFL, start an NFL game. Have you had a moment to just kind of, I don't know, or how has he reacted to having the moment in front of him to realize his dream?
Yeah, we've talked a little bit. You know, he and I one-on-one a little bit, and then, you know, in the quarterback room with Marcus and Scott and Parks, you know, we've talked to him a little bit just about, hey, relax, play your game. You don't have to be the hero. Sam's played a lot of football. I mean, he hasn't thrown an NFL pass, but he played at Texas. It's big-time football state, big-time football. He's played and he's won a lot of games. He's played and won a lot of games. He's a winner. He has a great opportunity in front of him. I think it's unfair to, you know, of course we expect to win. We expect that we're going to get on track and continue to improve. You know, I think it's unfair to say, hey, everything hinges on how he plays. We play as a team. He's got to play good football. He's got to play winning football, and that's what we expect he'll do.